My name is SMOLDERS. I am a Director of Membership Services and Development. So we're here in Tournai now, in Belgium, and this is one of the meetings of the organization where everybody comes together and really starts working in separate workshops on some of the challenges and the tasks that will be covered within the project. So I was asked to provide a little bit more insight on the health tech innovations in Flanders. And I think, first of all, Flanders and the challenges and opportunities that we have in Flanders are not very different from the ones in Wallonia in the north of France. Obviously, because a lot of the work that we do on health, especially digital health when it comes to data sharing, is also determined by some of the European activities like European Health Data Space. Where I do think that we can learn from each other a lot is on some of the challenges that we also experience in Flanders with regard to the implementation of digital health innovations, which very often we see that change management and making sure that these technologies are not just tested in pilot projects, but are long-term implemented in a sustainable fashion within healthcare organizations, that there is often a lot of hurdles there too. Another topic that I discussed in my keynote is the fact that there is a risk with an increased digitization of our society, that people with lower digital literacy, that they are being left behind, especially people from often lower socioeconomic classes or elderly people. They're not used to digital technologies. They're not used to working with smartphones, tablets, installing apps like the younger populations are. And we definitely need to make sure that also those people, very often because they are the ones needing the healthcare system the most, that they are not left behind and we do not end up with a healthcare system in two speeds. It is so slow because, first of all, it is very heavily regulated, meaning that if you want to change something, it's not just about developing a new technology or a new procedure, it's also about having it certified, making sure that it is safe, that it is accessible, and that it does not pose additional stress and uncertainties or risks for the entire ecosystem. A second thing where I think some of the major challenges are is in the fact that there is a lot of budget and a lot of money available within healthcare, but there is very little free money. Everything is already, the money is already spent on taking care of patients, and so the change from one way of working to the other takes up time, takes up budget, and we don't have that time and budget. And that's why it's very often a very slow process in getting these things sustainably implemented within the healthcare system. Oh, I think, first of all, the most important thing is the exchange and the availability of data. I think making sure that we have access to high quality data and that it is fair, you know the acronym, findable, accessible, interoperable, retrievable, or reusable, that it really can help us in better understanding and bringing together all these disparate data sources. And then obviously AI is something that will tremendously change the way that we work, not just in healthcare, but the entire society. At the same time, I'm always a bit worried about when people are talking about AI, because for me, it's really a container concept. It is about understanding medical images better and helping the healthcare professional in making a diagnosis, but it's also about generative AI in making conversations with chatbots more natural. So when people are talking about AI, it's a huge landscape, and I think there are overlapping challenges and opportunities, but there's also very strict differences between using AI, for example, for medical processing of data, but there might be completely other challenges when you use AI for better scheduling of workforces within a hospital, for example. So AI and AI are not necessarily the same things. I think the best way forward, and really the only way forward, is to make sure that the people are on board from the very first step. Not just develop technology or talk about patients or healthcare professionals, and then when you're done with coming up with your brilliant solutions, then go check whether or not they like it. But make sure that whatever you do, you co-create and you involve all the stakeholders from the start of the process, in the ideation phase. And very often what you see is that if you include them from the beginning, it will become a much richer and a much more valuable process, and it might take longer to align everybody and all the different needs and expectations in the start, but I can guarantee you that at the end of the process, things will be a lot smoother, and the uptake and the understanding on how it can create value will be a lot better.